Welcome to Viral Vibes with Jocelyn, where trending topics, wild reaction, and real talk collide. From celebrity tea to DIYs, reviews, and all things trending, I've got you covered. This isn't just a channel, it's a vibe, so pull up, subscribe, and let's get into it. Hey, welcome back to Viral Vibes with Jocelyn. Hope all is well. I know it's been a while. I have to get on the schedule because I know in order to grow, the content has to be consecutive. So I'm trying here. You know, like I said, I have a full-time job. I'm a wife, I'm a mother. So life be life, and not only for Viral Vibes at Jocelyn, but it be life and for everybody. But today case, I told you we'll be talking about things from A to Z at this channel. I call it organized chaos. You know, you never know what you're going to get. So there was a case, I think the case was in 2022. And the name of the case, it was the Zakiyah Duncan case. This case came to national attention in 2022. You know, I have a soft spot for our children, and it's going to be a lot of different topics about kids, fathers, and things of those natures. But this case I was unaware of. I was doing some research and trying to come up with some content, and just making my notes and writing down what it is that I want to discuss. And even though I will be doing some things that are a little lighthearted as well, but we're going to have some stuff that are really deep. So I'm going to issue a trigger warning right now. It's a trigger warning. It gets graphic. So I'm just putting that out there now. If you don't like to hear different things about abuse on children, this may not be the show for you. You may want to exit. But this case right here, this is like I stated, it happened in 2022 when a set of severely malnourished twins escaped their home and sought for help. Zakiyah Duncan, their mother, was accused of starving and abusing and neglecting her children over an extended period. Let's see. It says the twins were found with visible injuries, extreme weight loss, and signs of long-term mistreatment. This lady had a lot of kids. She had a lot of children. It says this 2022 case sparked widespread outrage and conversation about child neglect and things of those nature. But I do know as a mother, we have our own children, and we know when we see a child whether or not the child was neglected. We can tell if a child was malnourished. If I came across a child when my child was 2, and I know not every child grows at the same speed. We know that. But I know there was a time where I had a family member that was born right around my daughter's age, and I could tell immediately that something was different. Immediately I could tell. I did speak out, but it took maybe 2 or 3 years before the parents were able to accept what it was that I saw. And I was correct. So we know as mothers, we have this intuition. We can see things, and we just need to speak up. We have to start speaking up. And there'd be less children being neglected. You're in school, you see a child in your child's classroom, and you're like, something don't seem right. We have to start questioning those little thoughts that God placed in our head, that discernment that he gave us to protect us and to protect others. We have to start listening to the things that God put into our, and don't be upset. If it is nothing, we better safe than sorry. You don't want no child to be neglected, and then you saw it and you didn't want to say, no, we got to stop that. We have to stop that. So this case right here, I didn't watch all of it. I started watching some of it just to get a gist of what this was about because I hadn't heard of this case. I actually had another case that I wanted to talk about, but I thought that that case had so much widespread recognition. I was like, So I just kept digging. Like I keep a notebook and a whiteboard of the things that I want to talk about. So I had about 5 different topics, but I kept going back to this one. So we're going to get into that, and we're going to start off with the fact that this lady, if I'm remembering correctly, she had 6 children. 6. She was feeding all of those children, but not 2. But she had a CPS case before all of this, before all of the kids were born. She had a CPS case back then where she was doing something with her children. So we're going to listen to this. It's not going to be a lot of interruption because I just want to play the whole thing through and let you guys really just feel this case. And hopefully it will open up your eyes to different neglect situations that may be around you because it's happening. It just is what it is. It's out there. It's real. And the stats are insane. You know, I'm pulling up these numbers and I'm like, wow, this is how many children get abused in a day. How many calls are, out there to cops and 911 calls. It's astronomical and it's very, very sad. I looked into something. Hold on. Let me go into my phone and see if I can find it. Because I like to come with facts. That's my job. I deal with facts. I testify. I'm an expert witness. So I testify a lot in medical cases. So research and all that stuff it's really dear to me. I love research. I love to learn. I have a mind that loves to learn. I love to learn. And then what I do, every case is different. So I can have 10 cases in a day and every case will be when I tell you completely different. So I'm researching. I never go past a word that I don't understand. If I don't understand a word, I go back and I research the word because I got to get into court and I have to testify on behalf of. So in 2022, an estimated 558,000 children were confirmed as victims of abuse and neglect in the United States through the Child Protective Service. How sad is that? How sad is that? Now, hold on. You heard me. 2022. Let's keep going. In 2023, there were about 4,399,000 referrals to Child Protective Service in the United States involving approximately 7.78 million children neglected and abused in the United States. Let me say that one more time for the people in the back. In 2023, there were about 4,399,000 referrals to Child Protective Service in the United States involving approximately 7.78 million children. I promise you, we cross paths with these children every day. 7.78 million children being abused in 2023. Every 54 seconds, a child in America becomes a victim of abuse or neglect. Every 54 seconds. This makes me make me emotional. every 54 seconds, a child is a victim of abuse. Over 500,000 children were officially confirmed victims just last year of abuse. Millions of children are reported each year, but the true number is likely higher because many cases go unreported. Millions of children are reported each year, but the true number is likely higher because there's so many kids out here and it's not even being reported. So it's going to be reported here on Viral Vibes with Jocelyn. I have my own kids. I couldn't even imagine. My kids are old now, but at one point they were these children. They were young and they never had to face any of this. So I'm going to start out with this mother. Her name is Zakiyah Duncan. And I'm going to show you she's at dinner with her children. But the two that she starved are not there. But my question is, why didn't the children that were there? You know what? Before I go any further, I'm going to see if I can hear, because last time, sometimes these videos just go without being heard. So I'm going to turn this up. Why didn't the children? You may hear it in the back. You know what? Before I go any further, I'm going to see if I can hear, because last time, sometimes these videos just go without being heard. So I'm going to turn this up. So she's feeding all her other children, and those two children that she decided to starve, I don't know why she did it. They weren't there at the table. So bear with me. I have a couple of screens going because I want to not only show these few clips, but I actually want to get into the house of horror of what these children went through. So bear with me. Okay.
Got it, you guys. There he go. Thank you, baby. Look at him digging all in already. Yeah. Thanks, baby, for the juice, because we had this food with nothing to drink. I ain't gonna take this juice.
Okay, you said everything good with you.
Okay, so
Don't make yourself up.
chicken.
You said shut my American stuff up.
I get it.
Dang, you sound like the French lady.
Wipe your mouth.
Wipe your mouth. Wipe your chin.
I said everyone too.
This being difficult.
Everyone too.
Now, mind you, just keep in mind that the children that are being neglected are not sitting at this table. They are somewhere locked in this house. But I would like to think that if I was in a situation like this, that I know my brother would be like, where's my sister? Where's Sister Soldier? But the fact that these siblings just sat there and did nothing, look at them. They're happy. They're fat. I don't want to say fat. They big boned. You know what I mean? These kids are being fed, so why she decided to pick these two twins out to do this too, I don't know. But hold on. Let's keep going.
Where's the chicken?
Her chicken is good.
10 out of 10. I'm gonna be honest. It's like a 20 out of 10.
Okay. Over the perimeter.
The chicken, let me see.
It says, all while her twins
9 out of 10. And the potato,
in the room. This is horrible. This is beyond.
7.5.
It's all right. So we had everything with bacon today, you guys.
The potato is like. Oh,
Yeah.
the potato is like an egg.
Oh, okay.
Is it not?
No, it's awful.
They're good.
I'm just gonna stop right there really quickly. This is beyond sad. Knowing that these kids were sitting there eating so good, and these poor babies are being starved in the other room. It's hard for me to understand it. It really, really is. Because somebody had to notice it. Somebody had to see this. Somebody had to know. Someone had to know. All right, we're gonna let me see if I can blow this one up. Yeah, here we go.
Horrific case of child abuse in Texas. Police say teenage twins were being held captive by their own mother. They managed to escape, and it was all caught on camera. New details on the horrifying discovery in a quiet community outside Houston, where police say children were being held captive in their own home by their own mother.
As soon as I heard the little voices for help, crying for help, I knew immediately I needed to open that door.
Police say two 16-year-old twins, a brother and sister, managing to escape, seen in this doorbell video camera pleading for help. At 5:30 Tuesday morning, they were taken in by this neighbor who wants to remain anonymous, giving them blankets and food. The twins say they were handcuffed and held captive in the family's laundry room.
Their hands were so swollen. Their poor hands were bigger than the rest of their body, basically. I mean, you could tell that they both had been struggling and pulling and tugging on those handcuffs, trying to get them off. It was awful.
Later that day, law enforcement issuing an Amber Alert for their 5 siblings, who have since been found and taken under Child and Family Services.
5 siblings. So she had 7 children. She allowed the first 5 to eat, but she starved these 2. Why?
Police say the alleged abuse at the hands of their 40-year-old mother, Zakiyah Duncan, and her 27-year-old boyfriend, Jova Terrell.
According to them, they weren't allowed to leave the laundry room. They were naked most of the time, hit with a curtain rod and also electrical cords.
The pair are now facing preliminary charges of assault and contentious violence behind bars in Louisiana, waiting to be extradited back to Houston. Well, there are still a lot of unanswered questions here, but thankfully the children are getting treatment at a local hospital, and the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services opened up a case. They're going to work alongside law enforcement to figure out exactly what happened here.
Just locked in the laundry room, just scratches and bruises all over his arm. Both of them had severe scars around their wrist.
Louisiana State Police Tuesday arrested the teen's mother and her boyfriend in Baton Rouge. Zakiyah Duncan and Jova Terrell tonight are in police custody. Investigators say they fled the home they rented in Cyprus with 5 other children, prompting an Amber Alert. All children have been accounted for, including the 2 who couldn't take it any longer.
I have all kinds of emotions.
Anger being one of them because, as we've reported, Duncan in 2012 faced 3 counts of cruelty to juveniles. CPS with a documented case history.
The mother got a slap in the wrist and probation and did a little class, and then what does CPS do? Here you go, you're fit to be a mother now.
The neighbor says she hasn't slept much. Thoughts focused on the brother and sister, the teens for whom she opened her door.
Before they took her off, she looked at me and she said, "Thank you."
On the back end of that neighbor says that she told the children that they will always be on her mind. She says the investigators have their numbers and she just wants to make sure that they are okay tonight. We're live in Cyprus. I'm Brandon.
Convicted of injury to a child in Baton Rouge. According to court documents, Duncan has been convicted of cruelty to a child in Louisiana. Court documents from 2012 in Baton Rouge state she submerged a 5-year-old child in hot water, causing serious burns. Police say they found a 20-month-old infant.
Did y'all hear this? This woman has been abusing her children forever. The government really failed these children. She has had CPS cases. I know that, that there are so many children looking for foster homes. And how do they, it's almost impossible for them to locate and spend 100% on these children. These workers can't do it. The abuse is more than the amount of employees that they have to go out to these houses. These employees are overloaded. They have like 20. Listen, I researched this. A single CPS worker. Let's see, how many cases do a single CPS worker, child protective service worker, visits within let's just say a day. Let's say a daily. Let's see. No, I'm built on facts. I'm not out here just pulling stuff out the air. It says because every state is different. There is no one exact number, but across the United States, CPS workers consistently report severe overload, dangerous caseloads, and impossible expectation. Well, maybe that's ways we can help more people getting into this type of career. It says most CPS workers handle between 20 open cases at once. Daily, a CPS worker may visit 5 to 10 families per day. That's more than an 8-hour shift. So how much time are you giving these children and these families? It says on a heavy day, workers may visit 6 to 15 families in one day, plus do reports, court filings, phone calls, intake screening, and emergency removals. People have to start getting into this type of career. So I wish I could. But I think once I start focusing on this, on Viral Vibes with Jocelyn, I'm doing my part. I'm exposing. I don't want to say I'm exposing the Child Protective Service because these people are just the employees. Something needs to be done from the top.
Wrapped in clothing with his hands bound. The document states Duncan and her then boyfriend made the victim do push-ups for an hour and forced the child to sleep on a closet floor. Boards were placed in front of the closet door to keep the victim from escaping and stealing food from the kitchen. Duncan was on probation from 2013 to 2020.
How the hell do you steal food from your own home? My girls would come and ask me, Mommy, can I get a bottle of water? I'm like looking at them like, why do you keep... No, you can't. How about that? Stop asking me for water. But that was just their respect level. They were never told no, of course. But I'm like, every little thing you're going to come and ask me? Girl, go to the refrigerator. Ain't no lock on the refrigerator. But they actually told me now, they were like, Ma, we ain't buying nothing in that refrigerator. So technically, nothing was ours. But I'm saying, how do you steal food out of your own refrigerator? You're hungry. You grab food. I hope they, listen, I hope they fry her. No. See, that's too easy. I hope they need to give her the same sentence she gave those babies.
Now to the desperate effort to find a missing 2-year-old girl. Harris County investigators say they feel
starving her own children remains behind bars. 40-year-old Zakiyah Duncan appeared in court today. Our Bryce Newberry joining us live with those details. Bryce?
Daniela, today in court, we learned that this mother is pregnant with another child and that she may have deleted video evidence before law enforcement captured her in Louisiana. Both of these developments, as a judge is raising her bond to $4.5 million. 40-year-old Zakiyah Duncan, the Cyprus mother accused of starving, beating, and handcuffing her twins before they escaped from their Cyprus home last month, appearing cuffed in an orange jumpsuit in a Harris County court Thursday, currently facing 4 felony charges.
There's going to be plenty more evidence that comes out.
Her other children still need to be interviewed as part of the investigation into what happened inside this Cyprus area home where the family moved over the summer.
These kids were being starved for months. They were being forced to drink bleach, household cleaners, and being forced to ingest all sorts of toxic chemicals.
Court documents revealed Duncan kept her teens handcuffed in the laundry room, where they had to urinate and defecate on themselves, and sometimes had bleach poured on them. In court Thursday, prosecutors shared Duncan is pregnant with her 9th child. They're also looking into video evidence she may have deleted.
My God. And they're not taking these babies from the moment she pushed them out. There's not. CPS is not outside the door. What? Her 9th? Who she think she is? Kiki Wyatt? Listen, and I've heard stories about her. We may have to. I watched it. What was it? Tasha K. interviewed one of Kiki Wyatt's husband. He spoke about the abuse. As a mother, you're overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed with 2. Can you imagine being overwhelmed with 12? There's no way that you have the energy or the mental capacity to pour, to nurture, to cultivate every single child. Listen, I be stressed out. And listen, I'm an empty nester. I've been an empty nester for 3 years now. It's me and my husband. We've been in this house for 3 years. I still get overwhelmed. Take care of him. It is what it is. You know, it's like,
something she told law enforcement about when they captured her in Louisiana after an Amber Alert.
I will likely be also looking into her mental state and hiring experts to accomplish that.
Prosecutors say one of the children they fled Texas with spent time in a Louisiana hospital, just released this week. Now all the children are back in Texas in foster care.
And we hope those kids can get all the help they need. We hope to seek justice for them.
You know what's sad about foster care? I heard one lady say, I was actually just watching, trying to vet through some videos, and I heard one woman say, she actually was a CPS worker, and she says sometimes she has a hard time pulling a child out of their home, even though they're in a bad situation. Sometimes, okay, so they get a list of homes that are foster homes, okay? And she says she may go to a child's home and it's bad, but her list is worse. So she has a hard time pulling them out of their home to put them in a worse situation. So, you know,
in this case.
And And the co-defendant in this case, Duncan's boyfriend, is still jailed in Louisiana. Her attorney says he's not sure how far along she is in this pregnancy or who the father is. She is expected to be back in court in January. We're live downtown tonight. I'm Bryce Newberry, KPRC 2 News.
All right, Bryce, thank you.
Thank you for joining us at 10. I'm Keith Garvin. Daniela Guzman is on assignment. A mother is found guilty of torturing her teen twins who escaped their Cyprus home in handcuffs in 2022. A jury found Zakiyah Duncan guilty on 2 charges of aggravated assault of a family member causing bodily injury. KPRC 2 News reporter Corley Peel joins us live outside the Harris County Courthouse, where she was in the courtroom for that verdict. Corley.
Keith, it took the jury about an hour to unanimously find that Zakiyah Duncan is guilty of seriously hurting her twins. It was an emotional trial, and at least one of the twins took the stand, describing that torture they face at the hands of their own mother. The jury watched this surveillance video from October 2022, showing moments after Duncan's 16-year-old twins escaped their Cyprus home in handcuffs. They knocked on this neighbor's door, begging for help and to call police. Investigators found the teens had been starved for months and were covered in bruises and cuts. Records show Duncan forced the teens.
Hearing this baby say, "Can you please help us?" It breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. Oh, definitely. At Bible Vibes with Jocelyn, we will be exposing and putting this out there. It's no one that I am not going to speak about. If you have any suggestions or you've seen something in the news, let me know. Fair use. This is for educational purposes only. And like I said, trigger warning. Also, if you want to hear more content like this, like, share, and subscribe. I am on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. But YouTube, I'm going to really be hammering this. Like I said, once I get some time, I'm feeling a little stressed out because I got a lot going on, you know? So I know it's going to be a time where I can get to a point where I can be in my studio and really put the time in that I want to put the time in to dedicate to it, because this is so important to me. And I believe that God placed this on my heart. I prayed and prayed and prayed for a topic. And the more I do about children and those things that matter. I know, like I said, I'm not going to sit up here and talk about whatever in the news, Cardi B and whatever that dude is that she got the baby with, and Krishan and Blueface and all that. Listen, this is important.
To drink bleach and were kept handcuffed inside the laundry room where their only option was to urinate and defecate on themselves. Investigators added bleach would sometimes be poured on the teens, burning their skin. During those closing arguments, Duncan's defense denied many of those claims, saying Duncan only admits to whipping her children with a belt if it was warranted. But the state's evidence was strong enough, proving to the jury the heartbreak and horror, and ultimately Duncan's guilt. And the judge says the sentencing phase for Duncan will begin on Monday at 9 a.m. Reporting live from downtown, Corley Peel, KPRC 2 News.
Okay, you guys. That's my video for today. I have another part of this that I will probably do tomorrow. I don't have enough energy to even watch it. It's very, very sad. And I think I probably will watch it before so I can get my tears out. Like I said, I'll try not to so you guys get the real raw reaction. This case is a lot. I have like 5 lined up that are mind-blowing. Like, but anyway, you guys, that is Viral Vibes with Jocelyn for tonight. Guys, be blessed. Get home safe. And like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Love you all for tuning in.